What's going on, guys? It's like a hero. Today I'm gonna have another video for you guys. I hope you are doing well. This video is gonna focus on Nightmare Sigil specifically and how you can advance in that and what to do if you find yourself struggling, either getting one shot or just struggling overall with the higher tier dungeons. Make sure that if you have a chance that you click the link in the description to follow me over on kick.com/likehero. I'm streaming nightly there. I'm pushing these 40 and hopefully soon 50 level tier dungeons, as well as my goal of 75 followers there to monetize that channel. So any support is greatly appreciated. The build that I'm currently using in this video here in this gameplay is my poison imbuement build. So if you're interested in that, make sure you click over to the channel, subscribe, and like the video as well. It's right in the Diablo playlist. This will be useful overall information for survivability for any class. However, just take that in mind that we are focusing here on pushing those higher tier dungeons. Currently, I'm level 86, about to be level 87, and I'm sitting around the Nightmare Sigil 43, 41, 42, right around there. Which means that those mobs are most of the time 10 levels higher than me, 11, 12 levels higher than me. Okay, now normally I would suggest that once you get to this part of the game, the 70 to 100, where you're pretty much just going to be running nightmare dungeons, doing hell tides when it comes up on cooldown, and you're looking for those slight rolls to increase your damage and you just improve your builds in general. But today I want to talk about if you're struggling, especially when you're starting to push towards those 40s and 50s and even 60s eventually, right? Those nightmare dungeons. We're going to talk about survivability today. And the biggest thing that I see when people are trying to push into those dungeons is that they're keeping their build that they had at 50 and even 60, level 60, right? And those builds do great, right? And most of the build, even the build that I posted in the Poison Imbuement, that build, will do really good in those situations if you're following the rule of minus 54 for your Nightmare Sigils. And I've talked about that in the past in other videos. So basically what that is, very quickly, is that whatever your current level is, you want to take away 54 from that, subtract 54, and those are the sigils that you should be doing. So 86 minus 54 is 32. So if I had a build that is maybe a little bit squishier, it would be okay to use that build if you were using it for tier, around that 32 level. But you might find yourself wanting to push those higher ones. And at that point, you might see that your build starts to struggle a bit more. Maybe you're still doing okay damage, but you're starting to really get like maybe one shot, especially if you're playing like a rogue or some other kind of squishier class. You might struggle with that. So I'm going to talk about what you can do for your build so you can improve that survivability. So the first thing is you want to try to get as much armor rolls and maximum life rolls and damage reduction in general on your slots. Specifically speaking of your chest piece and your legs. So as now I'm pushing these dungeons, and these mobs are such higher level than me, 12, they're like that dark red color, I'm able to do those because of the rolls that I changed out. So I took out some offensive stats, went for maximum life here, total armor, damage reduction from enemies, and that could be any kind, right? Damage reduction from enemies that are at range, damage reduction from enemies that are close, damage reduction in my case, from enemies that are poisoned, because I'm a poison build, so they're poisoned and they're taking less damage. On top of that, you could also take just general damage reduction. So in this case, my legs here, they have the just general damage reduction. It rolled very low, but still, look at all the damage reduction that I have there. What it does is just you're trading some of your high output for more survivability. And you'll notice that at those higher dungeons, that's really what you'll transition to most of the time. It's just increasing your survivability. Don't be afraid to drop some of your offensive stats for these defensive roles. Again, any kind of DR, right? Aspect in my previous video, I talked about the aspect of might. That's a good one to have as well. The aspect of disobedience, which is that gaining up to 75% armor for 4 seconds when you deal damage. And of course, I have this one here because I'm a trap. I lay traps. I take 25% less damage from crowd controlled enemies whenever a crowd controlled enemy deals direct damage to me. I also get that movement speed. So that's pretty much what I wanted to explain. Look for those damage rolls. Don't be afraid to sacrifice your offense for a little defensive. And especially if you're pushing those higher nightmare dungeons, the 40s, the 50s, 60s, etc., you're gonna definitely want to have some of those stats as well. Thank you guys so much. I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure to like the video if you like it, and I will see you guys later.